Good morning. Michael Kibuka here, Another State Consulting, LLC. I am just finished 2 weeks of reading the faith chapter in Think and Grow Rich. It's a really interesting chapter, and there's a lot of things that happen that Napoleon Hill works through on that. Reading it for the 14th time in a row today, I really noticed that he takes you on the full range of emotions through through what it means to think and grow rich. So he starts early in the chapter. He starts hitting on some pretty negative thoughts. I think it's Weber. Um, doesn't mention the name, but it's a mentions the famous criminologist, and he mentions when people start to first come in contact with crime, they abhor it, and then if they remain in contact with crime for a time, they become accustomed to it and endure it, and then finally, if they remain in contact with crime for long enough, they embrace it and take part in it, basically. And so Napoleon Hill starts there and slowly brings the reader all the way over to the story of Charles Schwab and how he set up the Steel Trust back in starting in 1900 with a speech at the University Club in New York. The and it's what I found today was really interesting was that how he gets the reader to buy into the fact that, like, all right, yeah, I could see, I could see like me being on the street and getting caught into something, and yeah, like if like things went horribly, like you got to do what you got to do. But then he just puts it into this great positive production where Schwab, as president of Carnegie's organization, went out to New York, talked to these bankers and stockbrokers, and said, this is what we have to do for mass production in America, and this is how we have to make things better. And J.P. Morgan, who was like the kind of prime mover on this, sat down, talked to Schwab, digested it for a week, and like got back in contact with him. And it's a persistence over 2 years that Schwab worked with Morgan, worked with Gary, worked with all these guys, and then finally went out to Carnegie and said, all right, this is what we want to do. And they probably doubled their money. The payment to Carnegie was about $400 million. The book says it's about $600 million in profit, but they definitely purchased a lot of other organizations and stuff like that. But just that a thought of somebody that didn't own anything. Yeah, he was well connected, and yeah, but he built those connections, and he worked his way up through the industry to become president of the United States Steel. Now, there's definitely there's a dark side and a good light side to this, and I think what we can take now, 100 years later, like that we can produce really good results by really thinking about what we want, having faith in that it's coming, and just letting it happen.